And so we're going to dive into 7 descriptions of biblically faithful, biblically balanced, you might say, rejoicing and gentleness as we see them in Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 and 5 this morning. I'm going to outline 4 descriptions of proper rejoicing and then 3 descriptions of proper gentleness as we unpack the details of Philippians 4, 4 and 5. So let's start simply by reading verse 4 again. Philippians 4:4 simply says, Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Now, the first point to note is simply that proper rejoicing is commanded. That's obvious, but we need to say it. Point number 1, proper rejoicing is commanded, because the first word in verse 4 is a command. It is an imperative, second person plural, addressed to all the Christians there, the church of Philippi, and by application to all Christians of all times. And so rejoicing is not optional. It is not only for certain personalities or groups. Proper rejoicing is normative and needed for every Christian individually and for all Christians together collectively. The command of Philippians 4:4 is a present tense. That means a continual emphasis, as an ongoing, habitual practice. And in that sense, we can note a second point about the kind of rejoicing that he says is commanded. Point number 2, proper rejoicing is continuous. Proper rejoicing is, number 1, commanded. Number 2, continuous. And in addition to that tense of the verb that makes this point, we also notice the verse clearly says, always. That's always. That's continuous. Right? It is important and incessant. It is a persistent practice. Rejoicing is not something that you only do when you gather with brothers and sisters to sing. Rejoicing is not something you only do when it's time to share praises and prayer requests. Rejoicing is not something you do only when God provides a need or answers a prayer or shows you some kind providence. Rejoicing is to be a constant part of the daily battle of faith. Helps us practice what we'll see in verse 8 of chapter 4, this focus on right thinking, right? Cultivating habitual praise to express that gladness and gratitude. It's a powerful strategy for spiritual warfare. The Bible does not command vague happiness and vacuous joy. Where does Philippians 4:4 say this rejoicing can occur? In the Lord. Don't ever miss that. In the Lord. That's the only place any lasting rejoicing can ever be possible. This is not a call for silly, giddy, mindless smiles. Chipper up. No, this is not a call for an endless supply of funny memes or catchy tunes to forget your troubles. No. Point number 3, proper rejoicing is Christ-centered. That is, it is in the Lord. It is Christocentric, in the Lord Jesus Christ. Proper rejoicing is commanded, continuous, and thirdly, Christ-centered. And so we might say, fourthly, proper rejoicing is crucial. It is commanded, it is continuous, it is Christ-centered, and proper rejoicing is crucial. He repeated it to make sure we don't run away from it, we don't excuse it away, that we really get it, we grasp the centrality of it. It is crucial. Christians of all people should be happy people that overflow with thankfulness to God and delight in Him. And so Paul practiced proper rejoicing, and so can you. And we can also practice proper gentleness. So let's move on to verse 5 and unpack the clarifying truths about that next. Verse 5, read there again, let your gentle spirit or your gentleness, your reasonableness, your consideration be known to all men. The Lord is near. The thoughtfulness of this character trait means it is a solid support to lean on not a wet noodle that just caves to anything and every whim. It is clearly convictional in character. So you might note that as a first point about gentleness today. Fifth point overall, proper gentleness is convictional. It's gentleness, proper gentleness is convictional. That is, it's principled. It connects with verse 1, stand firm in the Lord, in the truth. And so it is governed by, guided by truth to make those appropriate sacrifices of the things that are small, the things to serve the needs of others for their spiritual good, not allowing whatever goes, but not being unyielding either, not being ungracious. You might say humility anchored in truth is the hand that holds out gentleness. Humility anchored in truth is the handle for this gentleness. And so it is convictional. And that convictional gentleness is to be made known to all men. So you might say sixthly, second point about gentleness, proper gentleness is comprehensive. Point number 6 overall, proper gentleness is comprehensive. By comprehensive, I mean evident to all, made known to all, shown in every relationship in thoughtful and fitting ways. It's not merely for your marriage. Yes, it is for your marriage, but it's not merely for that. It is not merely for your family or your church family. It is for that, but it is not merely for that. It is not merely for that special circle of friends where you think, I'm gonna give them some grace. No, it fits with everyone in some way. You have wisdom to measure it out. It is for all men, all people are to receive, see, be shown this Christian consideration, this Christian moderation to be known by them. It's comprehensive. And then lastly, we might also describe it as confident. Proper gentleness is confident. And if you know me, you know I do not mean confident in ourselves. Right? Not self-confidence. That's pride. That's a sin. Our confidence is in the Lord. And he says at the end of this verse, the Lord is near. Why can you be so charitable and gentle with people? Because the Lord is near. Knowing Jesus is what leads to proper rejoicing and proper gentleness. Proper gentleness is convictional, comprehensive, and confident. Proper rejoicing is commanded, continuous, Christ-centered, and crucial.